everybody and welcome again to another little talking video. It is today a beautiful day outside. I haven't been outside, but I have seen that it is a little bit beautiful. So it is not, go outside. Well no, watch this first, then go outside. So today I thought that we would do a little baking video. It is for a recipe that I absolutely love. It's brownies. You gotta love a brownie, but they are really, really good brownies. They are immense, as Ness would say from Gavin and Stacey. It is a really simple recipe for something that ultimately is absolutely delicious. And if anybody tries to say that a brownie should be healthy, who are you? Who are you? Sit down and reevaluate your life, because that's just wrong. Most of the ingredients you might already have in your cupboards, in your shelves, in your larders, in your fridges and whatever else you might want to keep food in. If you don't have anything, get out now, go to Sainsbury's, go to Tesco's, Aldi, Lidl, Morrison. Niles, what are you doing? Confiscating things. Right, so the first thing that you need to do to start your brownies off is put the cat down. Once you have put your cat down, no, that sounds really awful, doesn't it? Not put your cat down, put the cat down on the floor. Do not put your cat down, put it down on the floor. Let it walk away. Let it walk away. So the first thing that you're going to need for the brownies are the ingredients. So let me tell you what the ingredients... Niles! Let me tell you exactly what the ingredients are that you need. The next thing to do is turn on your oven, and so if you have a fan oven like I do, it's 160 degrees. If it's a normal oven, it's 180, and then it says gas mark 4, but I've never really known what that meant. Once you've done that, you will need to get the utensils that you need to make the brownies, and it is so simple. Again, I say simple. You will need a medium saucepan, a wooden spoon, a bowl, and a lined and greased tin. I actually think that that was an incredible narrator of MasterChef woman impression. But moving on, when you have your saucepan and your wooden spoon at the ready, you just need to put the following ingredients into the saucepan. The butter, the 2 types of sugar, the chocolate, and scoop out your golden syrup. Now, once all of your ingredients are in the saucepan all together, you just need to put this on a medium level hob. You don't really want it any hotter than that, because then the chocolate can go all funny, the sugar can go all crunchy, and it can be a bit nasty. So I'd start it on about, my hob's one of those weird ones. It's electric and I don't like it. I put it on about number 5, which is halfway for a gas hob and everything else. So pop that on there and leave that to do its work. While that's doing its thing on the hob, make sure you give it a bit of a stir every now and then, because what's going to happen is everything's going to melt together into this really delicious gloopy. But while that's happening, what you can do is combine your dry ingredients into one big bowl. So into the bowl we've put the plain flour, the baking powder and the cocoa powder. If you want your brownies to taste a little bit more chocolatey, put an extra little bit of cocoa powder in. I tend to do the opposite and put a little bit more golden syrup into that little mess over there, because it tastes really chewy and tasty. Also, while that's melting away on the hob, what you need to do is you need to beat your eggs. Just 2 eggs, and you just... I don't really know why they call it beating eggs, because it's a fork, isn't it? There you go. Lovely! So our chocolate mixture is now pretty much ready. It's all melted together in a lovely, delicious chocolatey way. The first thing that you do, add your beaten eggs to this mixture in the saucepan. Give it a little stir around. This part never really looks that appetizing, but you've just got to go with it. You just got to go with it, okay? You got to go with it. So that's all combined now. What you now need to do is add in your dry ingredients. So again, this is your cocoa powder, your baking powder, and your flour. And you just got to pour it in all together. Ah! Get out! And then stir it all together. This is now the stage when you can be a little bit harsher, get those muscles out for the beating of the dry ingredients, because it will beat out some of the lumps that you had in your sugar. So have a real... So now that that's all beaten together, we have our finished brownie mixture. Get your tin. I'm using a... I haven't got a clue what this is. I don't know what the measurements are. It's a tin. It looks like this. You could use a round one, you could use a square one, but you want it to be about this deep because they don't rise too much, but they do rise a little bit, so you want that much depth in your tin. Pour in your brownie mixture. Once that's all poured into your tin, just give it a slight smooth out. It will naturally go out to the corners anyway, but just make sure that it is really spread out and in all of those corners. There we go. Perfect. It's now ready to go into the oven. Now you want to leave it in the oven for about 20-25 minutes. It totally depends on your type of oven and how nice and chewy you want your brownies to be. I tend to do them for about 20 minutes because it gives you a nice chewy brownie in the middle, in the very middle of the tin. And that's just lovely. It's the best type of brownie there is. So you can judge it yourself when you pull it out. If it's a little bit done around the edges instead of it soft in the middle and it gives a little bit of a wobble, probably give it a little bit more. But when it comes out and it's still a bit squishy in the middle, go for it. Well, don't eat it. Just get it out first and let it cool down a bit. Now this is normally the stage when we would love to lick the spoon, but because eggs have been used in the process, it's really not very wise. And now we wait. So after 15 or 20 minutes or 25 minutes or however burnt you want your brownies, they will be done and they will look roughly like this, a cooked version of what you put in the oven. Not really that surprising. Now remember to wear oven gloves because otherwise, you know, that's just stupid. So what you then want is you want a wire cooling rack like this, or another type of cooling rack if there is one. And then I've left them in this tin for about 5 minutes because they keep on cooking through for a bit while they're out of the oven. But this means they're slightly less gooey, so they won't go everywhere because you need to now tip them out of the case. Aha! Hello? Woo! On the bottom you will find your piece of greaseproof paper. Simply lift it off like this and then just throw this away because it's greasy and it's gross. When your brownies are upside down like this, it doesn't much matter that they're upside down. You're going to probably need to leave them there to cool, and they take, in my experience, depending on how hungry you are, about 20 minutes to cool. And it's best to leave them and then cut them once they've actually cooled, or else at this point if I tried to put a knife through them they would go everywhere and you'd have more brownie underneath than you would on the actual brownie itself. Oh, they smell so good. Oh, that is good. That is good. Leave them out and just wait. Again, go off and have a sandwich. And so there we have it. Your brownies are finished. You have done it. You are a baker and it is excellent. Here are my finished deposits of brownie, which look very much tasty. You can store them in an airtight container for about a week. Personally, they've never lasted for that long with me. You might be a really self-disciplined person, whereas personally, I'm going to eat about 5 of these now. So go, share this with your friends and family who want to make yummy brownies. If you want to add anything to them, you can add walnuts, you can add pecans, you can add celery. I wouldn't do the last one. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this, and I hope that you now enjoy even more your delicious hard work on a plate. Bye!